What's going on, my trading friends? Wow, it has been an amazing past week and a half or two. Has it not? We reached our target down on the SPY of 410. Expecting a bounce there. We did get a bounce for sure. I'm not sure if you call this a bounce or a launch. Because it looks like we are going to the moon, both in the stonk world and in the crypto world. The price rise has been absolutely amazing. We're going to cover a bit of that. We're going to go over some of my failed trades, and I say failed trades because I have been expecting a pullback, as many of my followers know. And so I've gone short on a couple trades, and it has not panned out for me. Rarely have done that in the past. Because it seems like when I do, I fail at these trades. But I'll explain why I've gone short. I don't think any of my logic or reasoning is faulty. I just think that the market is experiencing a flow of FOMO and therefore irrationality. We are in extreme greed right now, and it's risk on, and so the market has been pumping like crazy. So we're going to cover what has taken place and what I think is going to happen for the future, both in the stonk world and in the crypto space, and I'll cover a few of my trades as well. Where I failed and why I re-entered some and failed again. It's just the way it goes, guys. But we'll cover all of that. By the way, do you guys like the new background? Yes or no? I just figured I'd change it up. It's a green screen. It's not really a green screen. It's just a yellow wall back there. So OBS allows me to filter out the yellows, and there you have it. It looks like a real wall. It does a really good job on the fly. I mean, you can see a bit of blurriness in my hand, for instance, though it's pretty good quality. Anyways, I'm getting off track. So let's just jump into our charts here. This is NVIDIA. I'm going to start with the dollar as always. So I'm jumping over here to the dollar. See the big black arrow. Well, is that going to actually take place? I think it will, guys. It's looking like this is turning out to be a bear flag here. All right, so we're going up, hitting our 50-day moving average, and I think we continue to come down. There is that level of 105.8, 105.6, 105.8 is where we're at right now. So there is that level that we have to do battle with again now that we're back above it. Pending the way that this price action looks, it looks like we've kind of reached our top here, and the dollar is headed down. So with the dollar headed down and the VIX headed down, what happens? And sure enough, the VIX has headed down. It broke out of this bearish ascending wedge, as I anticipated it would, and it broke down very rapidly. All right, so now we're back into this rectangle here, which is really just two-year lows. That's the place we're at. VIX down, dollar down. You know what happens with the SPY, right? With the stonks, they fly. All right, so we have that taking place here, and really we can null and void this inverse head and shoulders pattern at this point. Let me go ahead and do that very quickly, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so I've taken away the inverse head and shoulders pattern. The reason I did that, guys, is because we have broken, and I'm going to just take this arrow here. We've broken above these two resistance lines. All right, so these could be considered, or this area here could be considered a neckline area if, in fact, it was used as resistance. As of now, though, we broke right through that area, and we are continuing to head up, and it appears that my blow-off top is taking place a little bit quicker than I anticipated. As many of you know, I did go short. What was amazing here, guys, and we talked about this already in the past, but look at how we hit this head and shoulders pattern actually did play out. We broke the neckline, came back for a pattern retest, touched the neckline again, then came down exactly to where the target is. You can see this pink line here measures the distance from the neckline to the top of the head, and then you can take that to where the area we broke the neckline, and you can measure down. All right, it took us exactly to a level I had already drawn at 410. And look at this, guys. We closed out the last body of this candle to touch this was 409.21. That was the low. And the close was 410. That is exactly where I have this level drawn. Now, you guys remember I expected a bounce from here, but I have to be honest with you. I did not expect this kind of a bounce. All right, so we took, I thought maybe we'd come back up, hit this 200-day, and then, wander around in this area here as we proceeded up. Potentially in the future breaking back into this channel, but I did not anticipate we'd break right through that 200-day moving average, right back into my channel, and break a couple levels I have up here as well. 430 is pretty good resistance, and then we have these necklines, this neckline from the head and shoulders pattern, and another resistance line here. That whole area was pretty good resistance. We broke through that, and we broke through this 100-day moving average. I believe the black is the 100-day moving average. And so we closed above that as well. Now, one thing I am just noticing here, guy, I'm going to move this, see this descending trend line? I wonder where that comes through. Look at that. All right, so that is acting as resistance right now as well. All right, so this is on the SPY. Will we continue to break these resistance areas? It remains to be seen, but with the dollar down and the VIX down, you can only expect that to continue to happen, guys. That is always a positive thing for the stonks. And that is why I'm going to just jump straight over here to my NVIDIA trade. We have just been smashing through overhead resistance. So, a big thing, a big reason why I went short NVIDIA. Whoops, I didn't mean to move my trade entry down. I did it again. All right, I'm trying to grab this circle here. All right, big reason why I went short the first time is because we had broken this channel, this ascending channel. We've broken that to the downside, and then along with that, it was intersecting with this 100-day moving average. And so we broke that. So I knew we were going down at that point. We did go down, and then we have this neckline here of what I thought looked to be a head and shoulders pattern. All right. And at one point I had drawn the neckline in such a way where we did actually break below and confirm. All right, but then we started moving back up, and so I was like, wait a second, do I have this thing drawn the wrong way? So I went back and we redrew it again, and as I said in my last post, am I drawing that correctly, or am I just a product of my own confirmation bias? Apparently so, because we kind of broke that, but we did not confirm. And immediately after, we rocketed to the upside, breaking the 100-day moving average and 50-day moving average overhead resistance, a big area of confluence, broke right through the bottom of my channel, and as of Friday, have continued to ascend. Now, I told you that on Thursday I pulled my stops. Why did I pull my stops? Well, I really wanted to give NVIDIA enough time to close out the week. I did not want to be in and out of the trade in the same week. I wanted to see where we closed on Friday. Now, we have closed above where I previously set my stops at 480. I set my stops up there because I anticipated, all right, we're back in the channel. So now we have lots of support underneath us, especially that channel bottom will actually act as support to some degree. What am I going to do on Monday? I'm really not sure, guys. I anticipate at some time, I wish I could drag this arrow down, but look at the RSI down here. The RSI is getting into overbought territory. Not there yet, not quite there yet. And we do have earnings coming up. You can see the E here. If I mouse over, that's actually supposed to. So that's coming up. You have that's coming up on the 21st of November. All right, so here's the thing, guys, with earnings coming up and you have all this talk of AI, and then you have, crypto, hash rates increasing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong to go short. I do believe that at some point, NVIDIA will have some competition. And there's some talk about the, I just read an article about the rise in CPUs and how, I don't think graphics card GPUs will not be necessary in the future, as this article seemed to implicate. But, perhaps technology will evolve to that point in the future. At any rate, the other thing I am anticipating is some competition from like AMD, all right, or some other big chip manufacturer. NVIDIA has been dominant for sure. And AI is being talked up, and we have hash rates increasing, etc., etc. So maybe I'm making the case right here to go long and not short. So on Monday, I'm going to have to really reevaluate, and I will post an update to both here on TradingView and obviously to my website. That's where you will for sure see it. Sometimes I don't get to TradingView, but you will always see something on my website. All right, so that's where I'm at with this, guys. I'm just going to reevaluate carefully on Monday. Let me just, on the fly, take a look at the 4-hour chart here, see if I see anything different. We are in this overbought territory, but nothing really big sticks out right away. I mean, I know at some point I feel like that gap needs to be filled, and I thought sooner than later, but maybe not till the recession actually starts. And the recession definitely has not started yet. As my followers know, I have been always under the premise that we are still in a secular bull market. Until, guys, let me zoom out here on the weekly on the SPY and show you this trend line here, which starts in 2009. Until we break this trend line to the downside, we are in a secular bull market. There is no doubt about that. We broke it in, obviously, during COVID. None of that data, in my opinion, counts. I see that all the time. It's an anomaly. But same thing when we go over here to regional banks. All right, we have the same trend line here drawn from 2009. As long as we remain above that on regional banks, we are in a secular bull market. Now, if we break that to the downside and the trend continues to the downside, then it's time to watch out. You can see I have a W drawn here, though. I do think that regional banks, at least for the interim, for the short term, and by short term, I mean the next 6 months, 8 months or so, they are going to lead us up. And then 2024 is when I am expecting the recession to begin, because of all the lagging data and everything that is actually occurring now will be caught up statistically. Traders, economists, etc. will begin to see that data in real time as commercial real estate starts to collapse. You guys know my stance on housing. Hopefully, you can see that housing has already begun to collapse. Commercial real estate will follow. This will affect regional banks because regional banks do hold most of commercial real estate. All right, so we have to continue to watch regional banks as well. Okay, so for the next week or so, again, regional banks are showing me up. SPY is showing me up. NVIDIA is showing me up. Dollar and VIX are down. All right, so blow off top to continue, guys. Now let's jump over into our crypto space here. All right, and I'm going to pull back to the daily once again and show you what I was seeing on that. And we'll just review for the sake of everybody that is not caught up on where I'm at here. All right, so a few things happened that caused me to go short the first time at around 35,000. I went short, and that was that we had reached this target from an inverse head and shoulders pattern that I have drawn way back here. Started way back in June of last year, and the neckline of which is 25,300-ish. All right, touched that twice and retested it, which is unusual. But then we took off and hit our target. The target was 35,000. I have always also proclaimed that we will reach 37,000 by the close of the year. That has been a long time prediction that I have been proclaiming for a long time. Now we are at 37,000. All right, so we reached the close of the year target along with the neckline from our head and shoulders target, and these two red ascending trend lines are were resistance. All right, so along with that, take a look at, I'm going to get my arrow out and point down here, the RSI. All right, we came up to 89 on the RSI, and that acted as resistance. Huge resistance. I mean, rarely are we ever up there on the daily, but we were, and have remained in overbought territory for now going on 2 weeks. All right, that doesn't happen very often. So all of that caused me to go short at approximately 35,000. I set my stops just above this. I think I set my stop last time at 36,000, raised it to 37,000 and got stopped out. I re-entered at 37,000. I still expect a pullback. Where am I expecting this pullback to? Guys, I'm expecting it to 31,600. That's where I think we come back and retest. I have no reason to believe we won't. All right, we remain in this overbought territory. So that is why I've been so stubborn and aggressive with my short trade here on Bitcoin. I'm still in this one, almost dropped out of it today. And then I'm like, no, I'm just, my rule is that I don't drop out of short trades as long as we remain in overbought territory on the RSI, and we still are. All right. So 3 minutes left. Let's just cover my Solana trade. Solana has been absolutely on fire lately. Guys, I bought this. This is one of my hodls, by the way. All right, I bought this way back when we were at 30 bucks. All right. I'm not kidding. A day later, FTX crashed and so did Solana. All right. So that's exactly how. That was my introduction to Solana. All right, I have since, drew this inverse head and shoulders pattern. However, this was not one of the cryptos that I trade a lot, so I hadn't been paying attention to it. But the target was $45, basically. That was the target area. And I did not think it would take so long. We came back down, retested this neckline here. Get out my arrows again so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, so this black descending trend line is the neckline from this inverse head and shoulders pattern. And if we take the measurement from the top of the head to the neckline and draw it out, that gives us our target area here at $45. And just recently, it has just gone on fire here and has broken new levels this year, really. And we're now at $58. All right, so I went short on this a couple times, thinking once we reached our target area, we would drop again. Being that we are also on the RSI way into overbought territory, almost to 90. Again, that rarely happens, especially in what we still are referring to as a bear market until the trend shows us otherwise. Look at all this accumulation. That's basically a year of accumulation on Solana. And now it is just on fire. All right, so stopped out of that one twice. And guys, that has been my story lately. Possibly you could use me as the Kramer of crypto. Whatever I do, you do the opposite of, and you should do well. All right, guys, I got to jump out of this because trading you people are going to get cut off. Hopefully that makes sense and you can see where I'm at. No telling how long this crypto bull market or this crypto upspin will go. Stocks are definitely going to continue, and I expect that to happen sometime during the next week or two. I do think we'll see a pullback in crypto, but not sure about stocks at this point. I think they continue upwards. All right, hopefully that helps. We'll talk to you in the next video. Peace, y'all.